Sure, there are bad directors that make good movies, but do you know what's worse? When a good director makes a bad movie. Oh, it's so terrible. Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 bad movies by good directors. Yes, like I said in my opening, sometimes bad directors get lucky and they make some good movies, one or two good movies throughout their filmography, but I think what's worse is when a great filmmaker, an amazing filmmaker, makes a bad movie. And not just a bad movie, a really fucking bad movie. And yes, unfortunately, I'm here to celebrate those bad movies. Yes, this top 10 list is to show you all those shitty movies that all your great filmmakers, all the filmmakers that we all know and love, have made. Yes, they have made amazing movies, but they always have that one or two really shitty movie in their filmography that probably always haunts them. So yeah, let's talk about them, shall we? This is my top 10 bad movies by good filmmakers, good directors. So yeah, anyway, yes, let's start this off at my number 10. And my number 10 is Aloha, directed by Cameron Crowe. Yes, some people might debate, well, like, what about Elizabethtown? I actually don't hate Elizabethtown. I don't think it's a good movie, but I don't think it's really that bad. Aloha is awful. I did a review of it a couple of years ago, and I hated it. It's so bad. It's kind of racist and kind of offensive, and it has a lot of stereotypes, a lot of cliches and predictability, and most romantic comedies, and it's terrible. Emma Stone probably gives one of the worst performances of her whole career in that movie. She is so bad. Bradley Cooper, Richard McAdams, John Krasinski, Alec Baldwin, Bill Murray, all just terrible. And this is Cameron Crowe. I love Cameron Crowe. Whether it's Say Anything or Almost Famous, Jerry Maguire, I think he's an amazing filmmaker, and yeah, Aloha is his crowning jewel of garbage. Coming in at number 9 is Jack, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola can, do no wrong. He is such a great filmmaker. The Godfather movies, Apocalypse Now, The Cotton Club, even Bram Stoker's Dracula, so great. Wow, this movie's awful. Jack, seriously? With Robin Williams? I never thought Francis Ford Coppola actually directed this movie. When I saw this movie when I was younger, I hated it. I thought it was such a stupid movie. And then later on, I found out Francis Ford Coppola directed this movie. What? There's no way. This doesn't even feel like a Francis Ford Coppola movie. It's just a stupid kids movie. Apparently he wanted to do the Martin Scorsese and make a great kids movie. He failed. Martin Scorsese did make a good kids movie with Hugo. This one is so bad. It is awful. The story about this kid who has this disease. He looks like a grown-ass adult. So Robin Williams in this movie is playing a 10-year-old child, and it is so awkward and so unfunny and so stupid. The idea and premise is stupid. Yeah, you also have Jennifer Lopez in this movie, Diane Lane, Bill Cosby. Yeah, make any joke you want about that. And this movie is just dumb. The idea, the premise is so stupid, and I can't believe Francis Ford Coppola, the Godfather himself, no, not Marlon Brando, the director, he directed this movie. Why? Coming in at number 8 is Dark Shadows and Planet of the Apes, Tim Burton. Yes, Tim Burton is such a great... I love Tim Burton. Tim Burton's actually one of my favorite directors. Come on, Ed Wood, Corpse Bride, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Sweeney Todd. I love his movies. He's such a great, unique, gothic, dark filmmaker. I love his movies. Dark Shadows is stupid. It is a remake of an old show that I never watched and never gave a shit about watching. So stupid. Johnny Depp, again, he needs to stop doing his cartoony roles in his Tim Burton movies, and it's just annoying. It's so annoying. He's annoying in the movie itself. I thought it would be like The Addams Family meets Beetlejuice, and it was just crap. It was so bad. It's probably one of the worst Tim Burton movies I've ever seen. Right there with Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes is so stupid. It's a reboot of the franchise, and it is bad. The makeup looks good, but the action's terrible. Mark Wahlberg is awful. Tim Roth is so over the top as Thade. You have a waste of a Charlton Heston and stuff, and Michael Clark Duncan has got probably the most corniest lines I've ever seen in a Planet of the Apes movie, which is really saying something. Thank God they redid them in 2011 with Rise of the Planet of the Apes and then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, because those are great films, but Planet of the Apes is awful. Dark Shadows is just as worse, but these two movies are directed by such a great, visionary director, and they're awful. Coming number 7 is Cop Out and Yoga Hosers, Kevin Smith. Yeah, I love Kevin Smith. I love his podcast. I watch Fat Man on Batman every week. I love everything about Kevin Smith. I love his personalities. I love his Q&As. I love his older movies, like the Jersey movies, like Mallrats, Dogma, Clerks 2, Chasing Amy. I even have I have a soft spot for Red State, even though it's not good. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, wait, where's Tusk? Tusk is not a good movie, but there's like this cult following for Tusk, and I do understand. I don't like it, but I get there's a fan base for it. There's no fan base for Cop Out and Yoga Hosers. These movies are awful. Just awful. I'm not looking forward to Moose Jaws. This is making Canadians look bad. He's making these Canadian movies, and they're so stupid and atrocious. Yoga Hosers, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I did a review of it. Go check my review out. I hated it. It's so stupid. Cop Out is a studio movie. He didn't even write the movie, so I don't even know why he did it. Bruce Willis, Tracy Morgan, they're both so annoying in this movie. It's so unoriginal. It's one of the stupidest buddy cop movies ever made. And yeah, I love Kevin Smith. I really want to see him return to form with his Jay and Silent Bob movies. I heard that's happening. I hope it's good, but yeah, these movies suck. Coming number 6 is Alexander, directed by Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone, another great filmmaker. Come on, Wall Street, like Nixon, he's got a lot of great films. I love Oliver Stone. I think he's such a great filmmaker, also with JFK, and even W. But when he does a bad movie like Alexander, you just kind of question, is he really that good? People say the director's cut is the best. It's not. It's actually worse. It's longer and more painful to sit through. I was always looking forward to seeing this movie when it came out. It's about Alexander the Great. It's played by Colin Farrell. That sounds awesome. It wasn't. It was boring. It was very inaccurate, and it was dull. It didn't make sense. The costumes, the action, nothing about Alexander worked. It is one of the worst swords and sandals movies out there, and I can't believe Oliver Stone directed it. It's just atrocious. Coming number 5 is Scoop, directed by Woody Allen. Yeah, a lot of people say Woody Allen's got way more shittier movies than Scoop. There's a lot of terrible ones. What about To Rome with Love and stuff? You know what? I haven't seen all of Woody Allen's movies. I've seen most of them. I have actually seen all of his movies. I thought I missed a few, but no, I've seen all his movies. Even his bad ones. They're not that bad. Scoop, though, is so stupid and bad, it's you want to rip your eyes out after watching it. You question, is this guy really that good? Then I put on Midnight in Paris, then I'm like, yeah, he is that good. But still, Scoop is awful. Hugh Jackman, Scarlett Johansson, they're all terrible in the movie. It's a shitty romantic comedy. It has no clever satire, no good fourth wall breaking like Annie Hall. It doesn't have an interesting story like Midnight in Paris. It doesn't have an interesting twist like Match Point. Nothing about Scoop is interesting, memorable, or even remotely good. Scoop is the worst pile of shit Woody Allen has ever done. Coming number 4 is Random Hearts, directed by Sidney Pollack. Sidney Pollack, again, the director of The Firm. Sidney Pollack is a great actor, and he's actually a very good filmmaker, but my god, Random Hearts. This is not only his worst movie, but this is Harrison Ford's worst movie. You don't even know how to use your Harrison Ford properly, then that's a problem. This is a stupid romance movie about plane crash and stuff, and about finding the woman you love, and it's awful. Zero chemistry with the two leads. It's a bad performance by Harrison Ford. Clunky, horrible direction by Sidney Pollack. And again, Sidney Pollack is a fantastic filmmaker, but this movie does not showcase that he is a fantastic filmmaker, because it's awful. It's just awful. Coming number 3 is The Lovely Bones, directed by Peter Jackson. I even did my ranking of Peter Jackson's movies. This is the worst movie he's done. I never read the book. I don't care to read the book. I don't want to read the book. And just the story, I just wanted a good movie. I wanted a good, interesting story, and honestly, it's not very good. And it's very dark, it's very twisted, and it tackles a subject that a lot of people have been through personally. Yes, the supernatural element, not very much, but losing a daughter and stuff, people have been through that. It's a very personal story for a lot of people. And if you like it, that's fine, but I don't think it was a very well-handled movie. I don't think it was well-crafted or directed. I don't think Mark Wahlberg was very good, or Saoirse Ronan was very good. Stanley Tucci was pretty good. He was unsettling as shit in this movie. He was nominated. He obviously wasn't going to win. He was not going to beat Christoph Waltz for Inglourious Basterds, but this movie is not good. It's not good. And I wanted it to be good because I heard about the story. And I love Peter Jackson. I love Peter Jackson. Not just because of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies, but I love his, very graphic horror movies and stuff, and I love his movies. I really do. I even love The Frighteners and stuff. I love Peter Jackson, but this movie is his worst movie, and it's not a good movie. Some people like it, that's fine, but I do not. Coming number 2 is Piranha Part 2, The Spotting, directed by James Cameron. I've talked about this a lot of freaking times. I think I've talked about this movie a little too many times. I've done it in my worst video lists. I did my James Cameron list. I'm tired of talking about this movie. This movie is so stupid, so dumb. It has some of the worst effects, the worst direction. I bet if James Cameron never made a movie again, he'd be one of the worst filmmakers because he directed this pile of ass. Yeah, thank God he did great movies in his future. Even though Avatar is overrated, he did Titanic, True Lies, Terminator, Terminator 2, The Abyss. He's a great filmmaker, but he started off with crap. And the number 1 bad movie directed by a good filmmaker is 1941, directed by Steven fucking Spielberg. Steven Spielberg. I love Steven Spielberg. Everyone knows he's my favorite director of all time. Come on, Raiders of the Lost Ark, all the Indiana Jones movies, E.T., Close Encounters, Duel, Schindler's List, Catch Me If You Can, Munich, Lincoln. I can go on. His filmography is so big and so masterful. Minority Report. He is so good. He's a brilliant filmmaker. I dare you to prove me otherwise. I dare you. He's so good. 1941 is so stupid. Yes, The Terminal is not that great. Always is kind of mediocre. But 1941 is a shitty, stupid comedy. And it has great actors like John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd in the movie. And they're awful. And the movie even pokes fun of his own movies. And it's awful. It's stupid. It's horribly written. Horribly executed. It's not funny. Steven Spielberg himself is ashamed of this movie. Everyone who's a Spielberg fan, which is almost every film lover, is ashamed that this movie exists. 1941 is hands down the worst movie made by a great filmmaker. So yeah, that was my top 10 bad movies by good directors. I hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me what movies in your opinion are bad movies, but they're made by great filmmakers. Comment below, let me know. And as always for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.